I love reading chapter books to my girls, my 3-year-old and my 1.5-year-old. When people find out I'm reading chapter books to them, they often react with surprise. Why not picture books, they ask. Aren't they too young? They probably don't have the attention span to follow the storyline. Maybe you should wait until they're 6 or 7. I've heard these responses from coworkers, my parents, and even my in-laws. Right now we're working our way through the Chronicles of Narnia. So how do I make it work? Usually I read a chapter aloud while the girls are in their high chairs during dinner. Sometimes I'll read to them while they're in bed in their cribs. Other times I'll just read aloud in the living room while they're playing independently. Honestly, I'd much rather have them listen to a quality story than have the TV on in the background. It's only recently that people have started questioning this habit of mine. That's because I've been enjoying the Narnia series so much that I've been weaving it into everyday conversations. This past Christmas, I took my nephews and the girls on a treasure hunt. I made a video to document our adventure, and in it, I explained why I love treasure stories. I also mentioned how I'd already read Elena 2 of my favorite books about hunting for buried treasure. 2024 Christmas treasure hunt. For as long as I can remember, I've been fascinated by the idea of hunting for buried treasure. I'm not sure where this passion came from, but here's a picture of me with my 2 best childhood friends, Nate and Core. We're dressed as pirates, likely about to embark on a treasure hunt in the woods behind our homes. I've already shared this love of treasure hunting with my oldest, Elena. Together we've read 2 of my favorite adventure books, Treasure Island and The Secret of Saturday Cove. Both are thrilling tales of searching for buried treasure on mysterious islands. Reading has always come naturally to both Cassandra and I. In fact, we started reading The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe to Elena during her first month of life. At the time, she was in the NICU, and we wanted to pass the time while helping her get used to the sound of our voices. Interestingly, that's when I realized how much of a skill reading aloud is, and one I was out of practice with. Those first few chapters made me feel like that nervous kid in elementary school who struggled to read in front of the class.
Once there was a girl who wanted
Kid can't even read.
to
Cut it out, dude. You're gonna get us in trouble.
Today, Junior?
The breathing, the cadence, it took time to build that back up, and I'm glad I started early on. Can you imagine if I'd waited until my girls were 6 or 7? Mommy, why is Daddy illiterate? Thankfully, by reading books now, I'll save myself that future embarrassment. Selfishly, this has been an opportunity for me to revisit the stories I loved as a kid and discover new ones I either missed or didn't pay attention to when my mom would have read them to me. Here's the thing. Modern children's entertainment, movies, books, you name it, it's all watered down. I want my girls to be exposed to living ideas, stories that stand the test of time and pass from one generation to the next. I've since learned that in children's education circles, particularly within the Charlotte Mason groups, there's a concept known as the difference between twaddle and living books.
Hey there, I'm Autumn, the host of the Commonplace podcast. I'm going to give you a second to connect my face with my voice because here it is. We're doing something a little bit different this week. I obviously am making a video for you as an additional resource for this week's episode, which is episode 9, Twaddle Dee and Twaddle Dum. If you haven't listened to it yet, you don't really need to watch this, but it might be helpful. We're obviously talking about twaddle and living books, which are 2 huge ideas in the Charlotte Mason world. Quick recap before I go, because I do hear my youngest peeping upstairs. Twaddle. You're going to have silly idle talk. Probably going to have really ugly illustrations. You're going to have dumbed down language, and you might not have a plot line at all. Pretty easy list to think through. Also, a lot of contemporary books will have like political agendas or recognizable characters in them. That's like an asterisk over here. I don't want to make it a 5th point, but it should be a consideration on the list. Living books, on the other hand, are going to have beautiful illustrations. They're going to inspire action as well as idea. They are going to call a child to a higher order or a life of virtue. So even in something as simple as Island Boy, he lives his whole life on this island, making it better, serving those around him. And then at the end of it, he dies. Like, it's a full life. It's a full life of good, hard work for the benefit of others. That kind of concept. And then lastly, totally forgotten which order I went in. Did I say beautiful illustrations? Probably. But the language itself will be well written, excellent picks for words. So I hope that helps.
This is why I'm reading these pictureless chapter books, or what I've come to call living books, to my girls. Now don't get me wrong, we still enjoy plenty of picture books too.